Yes, Philippe, you've come through the international period probably holding your breath. How are things shaping up the players?
Holding my breath?
In terms of injuries or any problems?
In that way, yes, for sure. No, it's an important thing when the guys leave the building. I always get a little bit nervous about that. But okay, it's life. I've been there long enough myself also, going to a national team and sometimes coming back with knocks. So luckily it's not the case. The only one who's still doubtful is Ross, but he got a knock with us. So the national team was probably also not happy with that. That he had pain there. They treated him. It was not good enough to play. He's back in training, but he's not 200% yet. So we will see in the next 2 days.
It's a real busy and important schedule coming up, isn't it? And you're pretty happy with how the squad are looking going into that run of games?
Yeah, better and better. So getting players, a lot of new players in the building, playing games together, getting experience together. So I expect the next couple of months that our level rises in that way. And also from the injury front, it's not perfect. But it's less than last season, so we need to see to try to keep it in that way. No, not to try it, but to do it together with the players, to work hard, to have the right recovery, the right game minutes, and going in this, let's say, crazy schedule. It's the first time in the history of football there have been so many games, also without winter break or anything. So. For everybody in our business, in whatever country that you're working in, for sure for teams who are playing European, because it's a big difference compared with teams who are not playing European football, it's going to be a challenge in that way. So we're working hard with the players to educate them in that way, around everything besides the trainings and the moments that they are in the building, also the moments that they're outside of the building and at home, that they take care of their bodies in the best way.
Do you think anything could be done to help with what you describe as a crazy schedule?
Yeah, it can be done, for sure. Something can be done. I don't think that anybody in the business thinks this can sustain like that for years to come. But those are decisions made above our head. So we need to focus on our job and to get the players fit and to keep them fit.
You targeted October or November as a period when you would see the real Rangers, the best.
No, I didn't target that. I said that moment you will see a better Rangers team in October, November than in August. What was logical? You've seen already a better Rangers team in September than in August. So I said that.
You think you're going from strength to strength, week to week?
We need to do. And of course, those things are never linear. It's never like that. So you know that, but that's the target to make it better and better, of course. And that's why we're working hard every day with the boys and with everybody in the building, with all staff, to make things better. And of course, there are still a lot of things to improve.
Philippe, on Tuesday it was exactly a year to the day since you took over as Rangers manager. How do you reflect on your first year in charge, maybe the highs and lows that you've had in your time at Ibrox so far?
I need to be home at 6, so that's a difficult one to discuss all of that, what happened in 1 year. That it's good that we won a trophy along the way. I wanted more. We were close on more, but not good enough. We had to do, and it's about we, it's never about I. We need to do a big rebuild in the club in every sense, on the pitch, off the pitch. So many things happened. So I'm putting every energy in that, all my energy in that, day and night, to get this club back where it belongs to be. So the future is for me much more important than the past in that way.
In terms of looking forward, is this the most belief you've had in the project you're trying to build, and you can see the clear picture going forward of what you want to achieve and how you're going to achieve it?
Yeah, there are steps made, but we still have to make several steps to get where we want to be. So that's with staff, that's with players, that's with board, that's with investors, that's with everybody together, making things better. So I've seen steps made. I've seen also that we lost things along the way when people left. So and then you need to rebuild again with players, with people from outside of the staff. So in that way, it's about working hard to improve things.
Philippe, do you see signs that the fans, given all the challenges that the team has got now, that they are understanding the limitations that you're working under with? You've got new players.
No, I don't want to speak about limitations. I don't want excuses. I don't want anything of that. This is a club where one ambition is, and it's to win the next game and every game. It's my ambition also. So I don't want to make any more comments about all those things. No, it's about winning. And of course, you know there's a process to get to winning, and you know what difficulties you can have when you rebuild things so in such a big way. That you know. But it's about winning, and everybody needs to be focused on that and to make the process go as fast as possible and as good as possible. So all the energy in that.
There was a statement from the club this week, the chairman, talking about flares and pyrotechnics being used by some sections of the crowd. I take it that's something you echo with? It's something of course. You don't want to see?
No, everything where the club gets fines for, it's a bad thing for the club, for everybody working in the club, but for the fans also. So it lowers the budget for other things, where for the fans also really important. So they need to be smart and follow the rules that are made by the UEFA, by the Scottish Football League. So they need to follow that, like you need to follow also the rules when you're outside in the city, and you need to follow the rules of the police. That's life.
Philippe, could you bring us up? Philippe, if these rules aren't followed, is there a concern within the club that could result in partial stadium closure, and how damaging would that be?
No, I don't want to think about that, because I know the passion of our fans. I know they want to give their life for this club. So I'm also confident when the right people say the right things, like John did, that they understand, and it's not a good thing for the club, so that they will not do it then. So I believe in them.
Philippe, could you bring us up to speed with the rest of your squad, where Danilo is, maybe Ridvan and Oscar Cortez? I know you spoke about him just before the international break.
Yeah, you guys know that Haji will be suspended, so that's a pity. Then Cortez will be out for several weeks, so you cannot expect him too fast back. Ridvan I expect back somewhere next week in training. Rabbi Matondo later on that week, or maybe the week after, but he's also short of being back with the squad to train. And Danilo is training back with the squad. But we will see how fit he is, of course, now.
Is that a process, given that Danilo's had the setbacks, is that a process you need to take extra care over and getting him back on?
Yes, it's not the same with a player who was playing 9 months and then is three weeks out with an injury and then comes back. This is a different case, so we need to look at it in that way also. But I follow the orders of the medical and performance staff in that way, to do the right things with him. And is it that he can do half of the training or 1/5 or one exercise, yes, and another not? I adapt everything towards him, like we do with all the players coming back out of injury. But he's a case where you need to be more prudent about to build it up in a very nice way.
Philippe, can I ask you about the younger players? You've spoke about the challenges of the fixtures and the injuries you've got at the moment. You've got a clutch of players on the edge. You know, King, Fraser, Lowry, Devine, Rice, McKinnon, Lovelace. What part do they have to play this season in the first team?
Yeah, that depends on them, how they show themselves. It always works from two sides, and for sure from the player side. So Ross is a good example in that. He established himself in the squad in the moment he gets his chances, and it will be the same with the other young lads. And you can put other names also on that, because a lot of them, also other names have been training with us or get minutes in a friendly game, like against Dundee, where we played with several young players who train sometimes with us. So in that way, you cannot make any prediction. It's about what they show on the pitch. That's football. That's playing also in a top club. It's not that you can say, okay, we're going to give now 5 games to one player to show himself. It doesn't work that way. It's about winning and picking the best team, and 3 days later again the best team in that course of games. So if they show themselves more and more, they will get more and more chances.
Is that the challenge you're setting them to get into the first team this season?
I'm not setting them that way. I think every manager in the world is setting that in that way. And for sure in teams where you need to win every game. Maybe if you can be in a club where they play mid-table and everybody's happy with that, and you win a game and you lose a game and you have a draw and everybody's happy, you can in moments do more things, but not in a club where you need to win every game. So you need to show that you're better than the other one. It's normal.
Philippe, there's been some speculation overnight about whether or not Rangers might be back interested in signing one of the former players, Ryan Kent, who's just been released from his contract in Turkey. Is he somebody you're aware of, you like? Is that a possibility he could be coming back here?
I said already in that 1 year, already a lot of times, I don't go into rumors, because then it never stops. And it's already busy with all the press conferences with you guys. So no, I'm not going to go into rumors. Of course, I know the player. And I know already a long time, because the moment he went to Rangers, I was in talks with him to get him to Bruges, that moment. But there was a better deal, I think, in Rangers in that way. So he chose for that. So I know him a long time, but I'm not going into rumors about bringing in players or not. A very tough one, we know, and they say themselves also last couple of days what I read. So it's a place where you need to adapt to the circumstances, and that's not an excuse, for sure not. So you need to adapt to that way, the style of play they have and the surface you play on. And it's a team who likes to compete with the old firm. They're looking forward to that. So we're looking forward also to battle to get the 3 points. And I saw the game of last season, so that was for me the first experience there. So I want to repeat that experience.
Philippe, see on the schedule, you obviously said there's no winter break, managers want the winter break. Can you ever see a situation where that can happen, given how congested the schedule is both for club and international football?
What do you mean by that?
As in, like, because there are so many commitments for players to play for the club and to play for their national team, the amount of free dates available to allow for a winter break to happen is pretty slim.
Yeah, it's clear, but it's not about having a winter break or something. It's about how many games you have, how many recovery time you have in between. It's about that. It's not about me wanting to go on holidays with my wife and my kids with Christmas or something. It's not about that. It's about physical and mental health. It's about that. And I know a lot of top players have been complaining about that. I've seen also a lot of top players not going to the national team now in this period to not play the Nation League. So players are making decisions now. I think in the future maybe players will make even more decisions around that, and one moment they need to make a decision between clubs that pay them and the national team. What's also a pity, because it's a big honor, and I know to play for your country, and you do that with all your heart. So it's a really, really tough spot to put players in that way. but there's one moment a limit on physical and mental performance. So it's important that the people who decide about how many fixtures, that they take that in account. So I think in UEFA, FIFA are also ex-players. Maybe they need to take more responsibility in that way also to help the players in that way, the new players.
Okay.